Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Charlotte Benedict and with me is my co-anchor Dasuni Athauda. Dasuni, good evening.
Good evening, Charlotte, and with that, let's take a look at your headlines tonight.
Heavy rains batter Galle and Maithipala districts, flood and landslide warnings issued. State sector employees launch Work to Rule campaign over allowance issues. General public inconvenienced. Attorney General requests Public Service Commission to investigate Dilrukh Dias. Gotabaya Rajapaksa and 8 others released from the avant-garde case. Bribery Commission given opportunity to file charges again.
Of course, inclement weather has continued to affect Sri Lanka throughout the past few days. Certain districts have felt the brunt of this inclement weather more than the others. Now, with heavy rainfalls being reported in many areas since last night, there is a risk of flooding and landslides. The residents of the Galle and Maithipala districts have been severely affected by the incessant rains. For a detailed report, we now join News First John Fernando, reporting from the News First Weather Centre. John, how is the situation as far as the weather here in Sri Lanka is concerned?
We are now ready to take a look at the weather condition which is prevailing throughout the island. Few hours ago, the Met Department issued a special advisory stating that rains exceeding 200 millimeters will prevail tonight throughout the island. So right before we move on to more about the weather in the upcoming few days, a tragic story was reported today. The inclement weather that affected the Galle district yesterday claimed the life of a woman in Maithripala today.
The woman died after a mound of soil collapsed on her house in Maithripala, Galle. The deceased was a 42-year-old mother of 3. The house was completely destroyed and another woman injured in the incident is being treated at the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital in Galle. An 80-foot hill close to the Zahira Mahavidyalaya Vellampitiya in Valigama continues to give way as a result of torrential downpours. It is also reported that several rocks had fallen in close proximity to several school buildings. Citing the threat posed on the lives of students, immediate steps were taken to direct them safely to their homes. Meanwhile, Governor Hemal Gunasekara issuing a communique stated that schools in Galle and Maithipala districts will be closed tomorrow and the day after.
Now, taking into consideration the prevailing weather condition, the Disaster Management Centre held a press conference earlier today to inform the public of the flood and weather situation in the country. Let's take a look.
As of this afternoon, a number of roads in the Galle district, including the Galle Wakvalla, Galle Baddegama and Galle Mapalagama roads, had been submerged. This was the state of the Bambarahikanda, Navakkada and Pathavalivitiya localities belonging to the Valivitiya Divithura Pradeshya Sabha areas. The Baddegama Vanduraba, Baddegama Nagoda and Baddegama Galle roads were all submerged. These are images of the Bategoda hill in Imaduma, which saw part of its erode. The Akurassa Athuraliya, Akurassa Kumburupitiya and Akurassa Panadugama routes were submerged owing to the overflowing of the Nilvala river in the Maithipala district. Our reporters stated that Katduva in northern Malimbada and the lowlands belonging to the Athuraliya Pradeshya Sabha were also submerged. Around 6,000 acres of paddy land belonging to the area had been submerged in these areas. The Kok Madua Imadua and Jamburugoda Imadua roads have been submerged owing to the overflowing of the Pollatumodara river in Valigama. While a number of areas in the town of Mirissa have also gone underwater, around 1,000 acres of paddy land in the Borala area have been lost to flood water. Our reports indicate that a part of the Batavala hill in Valigama had also given way. The widening of the estuary of the Nilvala Ganga was done earlier today. With the heavy rain prevalent since last afternoon, the Badulla Nuwarelia main road had seen damage caused to it in multiple areas. The Disaster Management Centre informed the public to take necessary precautions when travelling via the road in this regard.
Yes, we are now ready to take a look at the prevailing weather condition, which will be in effect in the country during the upcoming days. Now, the Met Department issued an advisory warning and said that the prevailing showery condition over the island is expected to enhance to some extent during the upcoming few days. Now, showers or thunder showers are expected in most parts of the island, especially heavy falls exceeding 150 millimeters are likely at some places, especially in the southern Sabaragamuwa, central and western provinces. Rains exceeding 75 millimeters is expected in the northwestern, northern and eastern provinces. And also now around the island, especially wind speeds around the island are expected to increase up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. So taking that into consideration, the Met Department specially notes that the naval and fishing communities to take advised to be vigilant in this regard. Now, meanwhile, the Disaster Management Center has issued landslide warnings for several districts, including Kalutara, Kegol and Gaul districts. Due to this prevailing weather conditions, now the general public is once again specially advised in order to take necessary precautions to minimize damages caused by light, wind and gusty winds. And well, if you are heading out during the upcoming few days, make sure you carry an umbrella with you. Well, Shalan, back to you. So let's now take a look at what the Disaster Management Center officials had to say about the prevailing weather condition.
With the current rainfall, water levels of the Ging and Kalu rivers will increase. The water levels will increase in the areas around the Ging River and in Tawalama and Baddegama. A minor flood situation has arisen in the areas around Nilwala River and in Pandugama. We request the general public residing in lowland areas surrounding the Nilwala River and the divisional secretariats of Mathura, Tihagoda, Malimbada, Kumburupitiya, Athuraliya, Akurassa, Pitabeddara, and also the residents living in the lowland areas around the Ging River such as Baddegama, Valivitiya, Dilthura, Nagoda, Niyagama, Tawalama and Neluwa to be vigilant.
A level 2 landslide early warning has been issued for the Mathugama Divisional Secretariat in the Kalutara District, Yatiyanthora Divisional Secretariat in the Kegol District, and Divisional Secretariats of Niyagama and Alpitiya in the Gaul District. Yellow warnings, also known as level 1 warning, was issued for Agalawatta, Bulat Sinhala, Dodangoda, Ingiriya, Palindanuwara and Walallavita Divisional Secretariats in the Kalutara District. Please draw extra attention towards earth embankments.
team සම්බන්ධයෙන් විශේෂ අවධානයක් යොමු කරන්න.
Thank you very much, John, for that comprehensive weather update. Now moving on in more local news, operations at a number of government institutions came to a standstill as a result of the sick leave strike action carried out by non-executive government servants.
Public who arrived at Suhurupaya in Battaramulla to obtain their passports and national identity cards were put in great difficulty today. We came from Trincomalee at noon yesterday and these people are on strike. Tomorrow they are striking and they will be paid. What about those working for daily wages? I took 20,000 for interest to make my passport. Who will make my passport?
Today my visa is finished. Any arrangement that the government for me?
There was also heavy traffic as the group on strike blocked the road from the Parliamentary Junction to the main road. The group then gathered in front of Suhurupaya and continued to protest. The officials at the Department of Labour and Pensions also did not report to work today. The strike action was carried out in other areas as well. A group of nearly 300 applicants for the position of trainee project assistant were left stranded for more than 3 hours as no officials reported to work at the Hum7a district secretariat. A group of 18 trade unions carried out this protest expressing their displeasure at the decision by the government to offer a 50,000 rupee allowance to government executive grade employees. They state that such a hike needs to be reciprocated in an increase in their salaries as well. While a cabinet paper on the executive grade salary hike was presented to the Treasury by the cabinet, they are currently awaiting Treasury advice on the matter, with the paper set to be taken up at the cabinet tomorrow. The government committed a huge mistake by only increasing the salaries of legal officers and violating the state salary policy in the process. We told Minister Ranjit Madhum Bandara not to create this mess. The solution to this, which we put forward to the cabinet, has to be approved on Tuesday. When doctors went in for strikes with an election close by, they said we were being controlled by a political hand. We told the minister that it is not us who started this battle. We were dragged into this. We did not create the anomaly. All this was done by the cabinet and this government. A discussion on these issues was held at the Finance Ministry this afternoon. Minister of Public Administration Ranjit Madhum Bandara stated that further discussions on the matter will take place at the cabinet meeting tomorrow. Meanwhile, the strike action launched by the Joint Association of University Trade Unions continues. They staged a protest in Hum7a today. There is only one solution to this issue, and that is to give us the same 107% salary increase. If not, the recruitment of university students, the convocations, the examinations and the research work will all come to a halt, and it cannot be prevented. This strike action has been continuing for 14 consecutive days. We all accept that an anomaly exists. It is during the 5 years of this government that the 107% hike took place. But now it is people appearing on behalf of those who are trying to shoot them. What is happening is people gaining short-term political mileage at the cost of innocent people.
The CID once again reported facts to Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jairatna on an inquiry taking place on presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
On the 20th of September, the CID informed court it is conducting an investigation over a complaint which was made citing Gotabaya Rajapaksa while being a US citizen had visited Sri Lanka in 2005 on tourist visa and engaged in political activities. Detectives said the complaint noted Rajapaksa's actions violated the Citizenship Act, election laws and the immigration laws in the country. Detectives said as Gotabaya Rajapaksa obtained a Sri Lankan passport and NIC, citing he had renounced his US citizenship. An investigation is underway to understand if the passport and NIC were obtained legally. Officers informed court as a proper certificate proving that Gotabaya Rajapaksa had denounced his US citizenship was not presented. Future investigations should be conducted along with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Department of Immigration and Emigration and the American Consul Office. On the 21st, Udaya Gammanpilla and Vimal Veeravangsha made statements to the media on these facts. And today the CID sought permission from the Chief Magistrate to obtain footage aired by the media for their investigations. Accordingly, Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jairatna ordered 3 media institutions to hand over unedited footage of the statements made by the 2 politicians to the CID.
Now on that same story, Professor G.L. Pierce, chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, spoke of these investigations at a media briefing held today.
The issues that Gotabaya Rajapaksa has to face include issues regarding his dual citizenship, national identity card and passport. These are the things that are being taken care of. We will take care of the legal issues. There are no legal issues.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jairatna today ordered the release of 8 suspects, including Gotabaya Rajapaksa, in the case filed by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. The suspects were released as per a new order issued by the Court of Appeal on the 12th of this month.
The Chief Magistrate said the 8 suspects were discharged from the charges and that the Bribery Commission had no objection to re-prosecuting the 8 suspects. 4 among the 8, namely Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Somathilaka Dissanayaka, Jayaratne Pereira and Sisira Kumara Kolambage, appeared before the Colombo Chief Magistrate's Court today. The responsibility of informing the 4 suspects who were not present in court were undertaken by the counsel representing the suspects. Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka informed that the warrant issued for the arrest of the 8th suspect, former Senior Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Defence, Damayanti Jayaratne, for her failure to appear in court will be removed after she is produced in court. The Bribery Commission filed the case at the Colombo Chief Magistrate's Court, alleging that the government has incurred a loss of 11.4 billion rupees by allowing avant-garde maritime services to operate a floating armoury. Accepting the appeal filed citing that the case was filed without the written consent of the Bribery Commission, the Court of Appeal ordered for the suspects to be released from the case.
In one of your headline-making stories tonight, Attorney General Dappula De Oliveira had referred the matter of the conversation between Solicitor General Dilrukshi Dias and Avant-Garde Chairman Nisanka Senadipati to the Public Services Commission for an inquiry to be carried out.
Additional Solicitor General Sanjay Rajaratne was appointed as the head of the Civil Division by the Attorney General on a temporary basis. The key duties of the Solicitor General were allocated to the Additional Solicitor General Rajaratne as well. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe issued a special statement today regarding the respective phone conversation. I did not submit any letter suggesting the name of Solicitor General Dilrukshi Dias Wickremesinghe to be appointed as a Supreme Court judge. Therefore, such accusations are false. Investigations should be carried out immediately into the alleged statements made by Dilrukshi Dias. This will reveal the politicians who are trying to influence this matter. Dilrukshi Dias had never served in the Temple Trees. The Anti-Corruption Committee Secretariat was not set up inside Temple Trees. It was set up outside Temple Trees. Therefore, claims made by the President were false. If there were any issues against me or the ministers, such matters could be taken up at cabinet meetings or by inquiring individually. My view is that expressing opinions in public is not appropriate within a system of democratic governance. Therefore, I request all parties to highlight any issues in the right way.
The former Director General of the Bribery Commission is currently the Solicitor General of this country. The Solicitor General is only outranked by the Attorney General. Yesterday I read about the duties of the Solicitor General. She is the one who has to select officials on the Attorney General's department for cases filed at the Supreme Court. Not only that, extradition. It is the duty of presenting an individual before the court who had fled the country after committing a crime. Now the present government says they are trying their best to bring Arjuna Mahindan to the country. Who is going to operate this? Dilrukshi Dias Wickremesinghe. Can you believe that?
The third edition of the Future of Tourism Summit took place today in celebration of World Tourism Day.
17 world-renowned professionals and leaders from around the world shared their experience and expertise related to the tourism industry.
Every single day, something is happening somewhere. There is no word, I believe, in our industry that has more definitions than the word crisis. And the question is, how do we rise above stronger because of it? Sri Lanka is one of the smartest when it comes to looking at tourism as a business. And we need to recognize, again, ultimately the humanity behind crisis. Because only if we recognize the humanity of it can we even begin to start to stand up and move forward. Often what happens is that travel advisories go on and then the governments forget to take them off. Third element, it must be done in consultation with the government in which the incident has happened.
How do you deal with over-tourism? It's a situation like the environment you're going to have to deal with. We are going to have to deal with. We have no choice. And in many ways, it is way more difficult than the security one, because how do you deny the right of people to travel when they want to, where they want to see what they want to?
Richard Quest also interviewed Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on various issues related to tourism.
There's various issues that we can look at, but I talked about elephants. So let's start with the elephant in the room. When are you going to announce your presidential candidate?
Very soon.
Does that mean you're not going to tell me now?
No. Why should I? That's the secret.
We'll move on. Prime Minister, does Sri Lanka need a national airline?
Well, if you're willing to pay $1 billion, why not? We need a national airline, but we've got to, it doesn't mean the national airline has to be government owned.
Aren't many of Sri Lanka's airlines' problems the result of government interference and meddling?
Well, certainly it was a question of government interference, and we have a debt of about $1 billion. We all have to pay that.
Well, no, I'm not.
Why, Richard, each time you come here and you pay VAT, you're paying a part of it.
The industry is vital. Can you assure us today that it is not going to be a political football?
It won't be a political football. I think already people have, the industry players at different levels have taken it over.
Our party had lost for 25 years. The main reason for this is the leadership. It is the group that is always clinging on to this leadership that has caused the destruction of the party. The people today are waiting for Sajith to contest. If Sajith Premadasa is not fielded as the candidate, this time the UNP will never be able to come forward as a party in this country again. Ask them to give the candidacy to someone else if they can. The candidate will be assaulted. No one will organize anything for the UNP. No one will come forward. The people who come forward will also be assaulted. That is all that will happen. The people will assault them. Enough is enough. This party does not belong to the leader of the party. The mayor of the Maithripala Municipal Council expressed these views while speaking about the motion passed at the Maithripala District Balamandala meeting to support Minister Sajith Premadasa as the presidential candidate of the UNP. The proposal was approved by UNP party supporters and members including State Ministers Vasanta Aluvihare, Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, MP Rohini Kaviratna, Dambula District Organizer Priyan Vijayaratna and Mayor of Maithripala Municipal Council Daljit Aluvihare.
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයාට ඔබ හතර දෙනාගෙන් අපි එතකොට දැනගන්න දිස්ත්‍රික්කේ අපි තුන් දෙනෙක් කැමති නැහැ අපි ඒ තුන් දෙනා යන පාරේ යන්නේ. මොකද එක්කෙනෙක් යන පාරේ යන්නේ නැහැ. එවනම් මම අහනවා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයාට ඔබ හතර දෙනාම කැමති දාසන හතරේ.
Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa appeared before the Presidential Commission probing fraud and corruption in the government. Now, the minister appeared before the commission when the commission summoned him regarding an investigation on informally recruiting people to the Ministry of Housing and Construction.
The minister gave a statement before the police division of the Presidential Commission at 9:30 in the morning, which lasted for nearly 3 hours. The minister noted that even though applications received from various parties were forwarded to the administration of the ministry, he did not at any point coerce or influence the administration to make the recruitment. The minister also clarified facts on the plan to construct 20,000 houses by 2025. He pointed out that his only intention was to reach this goal and added that he has never advised officials to make illegal appointments. It was revealed that the monthly allowance for the employees recruited under the contract in question is 12,500 rupees. However, presenting evidence before the commission, the minister said that over 380,000 families were benefited through the projects conducted by these recruits. The value of the houses constructed is 35 billion rupees. Considering these facts, Minister Sajith Premadasa said that he does not believe that public funds were misused. The chairman of the commission had commended the housing development program of the minister and added that proper approval should be obtained when granting appointments. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the United National Party, Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam, also appeared before the Presidential Commission today. Minister Karyavasam was summoned to record a statement on a complaint over the misuse of public funds through the program to distribute vouchers for school students to get their uniforms.
A Dhamma school building constructed under the Hum7a Program in Navagathegama Puttalam was declared open today. The event was held under the auspices of Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
Minister Sajith Premadasa declared open the Sri Sudarshana Dhamma School building at the Navagattegama Maha Maddava Viharagala Purana Viharaya. The building was constructed at a cost of 4 million rupees provided by the Central Cultural Fund.
We do not just speak about Buddhism, but we work towards doing everything that we can to ensure the protection of the Buddha Sasana. That is how Buddhism can be protected. This Hum7a program is something that goes beyond mere conversations about Buddhism. It is a clear program for the development of Buddhism. Through this program, a generation of children who are pious, just and respectable can be created in the society. Through this, not only is the Sambuddha Sasana protected, but it will flourish forever.
The Research Intelligence Unit organised an economic forum in Colombo today.
The event was attended by economist Lalinda Sugatadasa, non-cabinet minister Harsha De Silva, Chief Operating Officer of Advocata Dhananath Fernando and other dignitaries. A Thinking Citizen platform was also launched digitally during the event.
I must sort of inform you that I was not aware of the particular topic of discussion. I thought this was more of a government tax policy discussion. So I must place on record that I'm a little bit surprised that I'm accompanied by certain people, representing the industry. And me as a government minister is sitting here. So I want to clarify that on record, because this report is also achieving objectives with tobacco taxation. If I remove my politician hat for a moment and look at taxation as an economic principle and how you are trying to maximize government revenue, obviously one has to keep in mind what the gentleman said there about substitution. And I guess just reading this, it's a lot about substitution, and from listening to what Suresh said is also, it's a lot about substitution, illegal and legal and all of that. So what happens is, it's ultimately whether there is incentive to consume or not, given the rate of tax one has to pay. Taxation should be based on some sort of indexation and not sort of some ad hoc mechanism. Somebody wakes up in the morning, Maithripala or something like that, and then you tax the hell out of something, and then you drive people to Khasippu and various other things.
President Maithripala Sirisena said that after he assumed office as president, he had allocated money for the education of children in the country more than any other government in the past. The president made this statement speaking at the opening ceremony of a multi-purpose building at the Kottapitiya Hagala Mahavidyalaya in Polonnaruwa.
The president was warmly welcomed by the students of the Kottapitiya Hagala Mahavidyalaya this morning. The multi-purpose building was constructed under the Pibidemu Polonnaruwa program in views of providing students with better education. The building consists of 4 classrooms, which includes a laboratory and a home science lab. The project costs 7.3 million rupees.
During the past 4 years I assumed office as president, we have spent more money on education in Sri Lanka than any other government. Our primary duty is to take care of the children. While providing children with a good education, parents must take care of their children. One of the biggest problems in society is that many racketeers are influencing children to use drugs and various other bad practices. Racketeers use children for all sorts of illegal activities. They use small children as well as the youth. That is a massive challenge that we face, and we must understand this.
a multi-purpose building renovated at the Alahara Kahatagahapitiya Primary School under the Pibidemu Polonara program at a cost of 2.96 million rupees was also vested with the students today. A renovated classroom at the Alahara Radhavige Oya Primary School was also vested with the students by President Maithripala Sirisena today. The President also attended the Rangaviliya program held at the Sagala Viharasthanaya.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the News First team, I'm Dasmia Powder.
And I'm Charlene Benedict. Good night.